in the city of Chicago through policy, procedures, and administration rules. Specifically in the city of Chicago, they had what they had called the transformation plan. The transformation plan was a plan to tear down the projects and revamp them and create affordable housing, mixed income, and rental, people who could own houses. Well, the plan from the upstart was set up in a way that it was anti-my community. And what I want to say by anti-my community, when we object to it in 1904, that they were going to have a lot of violence in the schools, that when we told them the violence was going to be spiked from the people being moved from neighborhood to neighborhood when the projects are torn down. The projects is a tragedy all within itself. So I would like to say it in this way here. In the projects, it was the poor, the real dirt poor, people who only could pay $8 a month. Some people couldn't even pay that. It was the real poor. And what they did, they took the people from the projects, from public housing, who had no other living, and said they was going to get them Section 8, but it was a trick to the whole concept of where they was going to transfer them to. And so they transferred them to Inglewood, Roseland, Lawndale, South Shore, Austin area, which already had their own economic problems, which had their own issues within themselves. And these communities were the working poor. Now they were, even though these communities had, they were poor people, they was the working poor. That means some of them owned their houses, some of them was renting their houses, so they was the working poor. And when they put the people from CHA into these, through these administrative rules, when they put them in these communities, the first sign of the violence started in the schools. And when it started in the schools, the youth started getting into it, started getting killed. And in 2004, we complained about what was going to happen. And then in 2008, you had the Daryl and Albert incident, which was out in the Roseland area, where people in the community with Roseland and Agio Gardens. Agio Gardens, a public housing complex. They took the children out of those schools, then created the what they call clout schools. Clout schools is like school on 111. It's another school, Walter Payton School, just to name a few. These are clout schools. These schools discriminated against the CHA residents. Actually, Walter Payton School is right next to Cabrini Greens, so these people who lived in Cabrini Greens definitely had an opportunity to go there, but because they came up with a clout system, which was an administrative rule to deny these people a fair and impartial education, what it did was it made these people have a situation where they could only go to they took all these people and they put them in these same schools, which created the violence. Now what I mean by it created the violence was Inglewood, for instance, I take in point Finger High School. Finger High School is in the community of Roseland. They took they shut the Agio Gardens School down and didn't allow the people who lived in Agio Gardens who could walk to their school. They shut that school down and took the public housing students, put them to go to school in Roseland, which caused actually it caused an international incident because of the Daryl and Albert incident. But they had already been this type of violence, this level and fever of violence was already like this, and it could not have happened without black leadership. And this is why I say that we don't have a democracy in the city of Chicago. We have a hypocrisy, but it's even worse than the hypocrisy. We have what we have is gentrification, which has turned into gentrifying us, and they're using federal dollars to gentrify us. They're using the federal dollars that are gentrifying us. They're taking our schools. They've closed more schools down in African American communities. We have the highest murder rate. Most of the buildings that you see that are 5 minutes. Most of the schools that you see that are closed down was in the same neighborhoods that I just got through talking about. Most of the violence, the 500 murders last year, was in those same neighborhoods. So I'm saying that the administrative rules, that the policies of this said government has violated the human rights of the entire African American people, mainly, and it has spilled over into the Latino community, but mainly it was targeted for our people, and they could not have done this without Negroes who participated in this and other Negroes who was too cowardly to say anything about it.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Mr. McKinley.